Hey everybody, Chris here. Last chance for a crypto Christmas rally. We're going to talk about that in this video. Please be sure to subscribe to my channel. Hit that little notification bell too. You can be notified when the videos come out as well as when I do live streams. My next live stream will be Friday, the day after Christmas. Taking a few days off here to celebrate with family. Hope you are doing well this holiday season as well, despite our portfolios being down, especially if you're in crypto and altcoins and not gold and silver. We did have the U.S. jobless claims numbers come out this morning and lower than expected. You would think that would pump the markets, right? Not crypto though. Crypto is lagging, continuing to lag. We're going to take a look at it. Let's get into the charts and the news. I'll show you what I'm looking at. And we'll start here looking at the Bitcoin price currently at 87,000. That's right, 87,000 for Bitcoin, down from 88 earlier this morning. You would have thought the good numbers would have caused Bitcoin to go up, but we are zoomed way out on the weekly chart today. We're looking at a bigger picture. During a bull market, you see higher lows and higher highs. Every time there's a pullback, right, there's the next move up. And there's a pullback, move up, pullback, move up, right? But when things are bearish, the opposite happens. Pullback, a little recovery, big pullback, little recovery. We were expecting a relief rally, something a little bit bigger for a Santa rally, end of the year rally, something like that. This may not happen now until the new year. So we'll be watching that for the new year to see whether indeed there is some kind of rally in January and then the typical kind of bear market pullback. I do have a couple moving averages here, the 50-week moving average, which beginning of November, Bitcoin closed underneath. And then now this is the 100-week moving average, which is acting as support for Bitcoin. So that is the current state on the moving averages. And of course, they're down much lower. There's the 200-week moving average, which we looked at when we were looking at possible bear market bottoms, which I don't want to talk about today because it's Christmas Eve and I don't want to get into all of that negativity. ETH, of course, is very similar. Again, higher highs that we had during 2025 up until, until October, right? And then the big buy. Actually, ETH actually came up a little higher here in August before pulling back, and then the big drop. Could it also have a relief rally coming? That's now looking more and more like that might be January. We will continue to watch that kind of move. And here's Dogecoin, just under 12.8 cents now. Dogecoin just did not have a big return. We were watching from May to July to September, these nice higher highs happening, but then we had the October 10th flash crash, which broke that upward trend that Dogecoin was on, and we are now fighting support down here just below 13 cents. So what's going on overall? Well, there is the Santa rally that we wanted, and then there's the Santa rally that we got. Unfortunately, that is crypto. That's what's happening with crypto. At the moment, we're looking at Bitcoin, pretty much no movement the past 48 hours. Bitcoin is now sideways. It is actually dropping a little bit from when this shot was taken a couple hours ago. And we are starting to see more of the long leverage here taken out. Merry Christmas, right? Not even giving the degen, right, leverage traders a break as Bitcoin is coming down and taking out some of this more recent long leverage here. The New York Open will happen today, only be open for a few hours. The stock market is going to be closing at 1 o'clock today. Crypto, of course, is 24/7, and you would think that the volume would quiet down and we would just be drifting sideways for a bit, but the market makers are going to get a little more. They're going to take out a little more. If we look for 2025 returns to date, platinum up 157%, Silver up 149%, gold 71%, copper 39%, lithium 35%. The precious metals are all up for the year, and Bitcoin is down 7%. So the year's not ending very well for crypto. Again, here's another view of it, especially at the end of the year with the big run on gold, the huge parabolic run on silver, and yet Bitcoin is falling down. So we're seeing this rotation, right, of liquidity. It's leaving crypto and it's chasing the precious metals and some stocks as well. We've got S&P 500, NASDAQ, Dow, all up near all-time highs, and many stocks, particularly the Mag 7, right, that's where the money is going in right now. We had silver flip Apple in the top assets by market cap. Silver now is number 3. It wasn't too long ago when silver was behind Bitcoin, but Bitcoin went down, silver went on this meteoric rise up, and yeah, that's just nuts. Now we look where the risk is, right? Well, down here at the bottom, here at the end of 2025, we have, this is Bitcoin in green, this is ETH in blue, and this is the total crypto market cap from the beginning of the year. You can guess what this light green one is, right? That's silver, right? And here's gold. This is how the year is ending up right now. A total rotation into those precious metals. The Bitcoin ETFs are seeing outflows. So we all thought, oh, these ETFs are going to be great, right? Well, they were great in a bull market, but not in a bear. And those who were trading ETFs, right? We just thought, hey, you know, the ETF, they're going to buy and they're going to hold these ETFs long term. Nope, they're not. And these are rotating as well into stocks and precious metals because that's where the money is right now. It is not in Bitcoin. And so we're seeing these huge outflows for the Bitcoin ETFs. And of course, nobody even bought the Doge ETFs pretty much. Those are still zeros. So as we look at the big picture of end of a bull market and the 4-year cycles, and many people saying, oh, there was no 4-year cycle, Chris. It didn't happen. Well, it did for Bitcoin. It did for Bitcoin. Here in gold, we've got the 2017 cycle here at the end of 2017, topped after, so many days from the lowest price, right? And about the same time that happened here in this purple line, that is 2021, $69,000 for a Bitcoin, and it's the same number of days. It's just a lower price increase from the bottom of the previous bear market. And then in white here, we've got the 2025, and here is where Bitcoin hit 126,200. Again, a smaller percentage, and I call this like the law of diminishing returns, right? But Bitcoin did hit a new all-time high there, so the 4-year cycles, actually 3 years and 11 months, right? From December, November, and October. And now we go into the bear market. I mean, that if you still believe in the 4-year cycle, they were still there. And in each cycle, Dogecoin front ran Bitcoin. Dogecoin hitting a new all-time high in May 2021, not November. And Dogecoin hit its cycle high in this cycle back in December 2024. Front ran them both. And alts have been suffering more. That's what we've seen. And even all the Bitcoin like rainbow charts was expecting, this big move up into the orange to happen again this cycle, which would have been Bitcoin over $200,000, and that didn't happen. So we call it a discount zone. I think this is going to fail right out, and it's going to come out. All of these rainbow charts are going to be invalidated, is probably what's going to happen as we look forward, just because of the weakness of Bitcoin right now. It's going to be tough to recover. And here as we're ending 2025, October was in the red, November was in the red, and December is now in the red as well. If we get a little bit of a pump before the end of the year, we could see December touch green. But look what happened in 2021. It's kind of interesting, right? November 2021, Bitcoin hit a new all-time high, but after hitting that all-time high, it dropped lower than the price was at the beginning of November. So November ended red, and then December was red, and then the following January 22 was also red, so that was 3 reds in a row. The same thing is happening now. Bitcoin hit a new all-time high in October, but the month ended up being red. The end of the month was lower priced than the beginning of the month. November was red, and now December red. So kind of interesting. Maybe that leads to January being green, as February 2022 was green. Maybe January 2026 will also be green. Right now, there's a lot of bears, and looking at the pullbacks that happened 2018, 2022, I don't think that's happening. I mean, not this crazy pullback here in crypto total market cap. This would be a huge, huge outflow of all crypto. If crypto total market cap went below $1 trillion and even down to like 500 billion, that would be like a huge, huge like pullback. If we stay on this track here, we could see maybe crypto total market cap falling to like 1.6 to 1.7 trillion, but that would be massive. So we can look at some other alts and what's happening. Here's Ali looking at XRP, and XRP has failed support of $1.90. If you go back and you look at where XRP was in April, now below that, and so that is looking very bearish. And we see a similar type chart on many, many alts that have dropped below their April lows, and same for Doge. Doge was 13 cents in April. It's now in the 12s. It actually touched 11.99 last week, and that is in play as well. Speaking of Doge, Trader Allen is looking at the Ichimoku analysis and is looking at a bearish signal alert for the Doge chart, looking at this Ichimoku cloud. Not great. Alts are oversold. There's a saying I always mention, assets bottom when they look absolutely the worst. That's the current position for many alts. Only way is up from here. Biggest alt season is coming. And I'm like, nah, not yet. I think we just got to pull that out another year or so and let us wallow in the bear for a while and then see what happens, because there's no conviction in alts right now. Every once in a while you'll get something like a Pippin or something going on a run, but overall on alts, which is the others chart, it's bleeding out from the end of 2024, and I think that's just going to continue. So what could change? Right? Every time we see a big run in alts, right? Most times it's led by Dogecoin. That's right. It is Dogecoin that typically leads the charge. And here's an update that Mario Nawfal gives us about X payments or X money. And that Elon said it's launched internally, ready to start moving. Let's see what Mario says here. Person-to-person payments launched December 18th, live across the US in beta. So not only was it internally, but they've got a bunch of beta users. Zero fee instant transfers via wallet, bank, card, crypto. Crypto coming in Q1. That's a new thing. Hadn't heard that before. Interesting. Is that just stable coins because Visa's running the thing? Or could Dogecoin possibly? Over 1 million signups in 72 hours. So I don't know where you sign up. I'm looking everywhere and I can't see that. X credit, of course they're going to offer credit, right? Because there's money to be made there. $1,000 in instant loans. So it's looking more like a bank, although it's not really supposed to be a bank. But they bypass the banks entirely. Fast, direct, built for scale. Looking to see how all of that works. So no legacy gatekeepers, no friction, just alternative payments with the X factor. you know, this thing launches, man, that is like, that's going to be exciting. And I think it's going to get Dogecoin to pump a little bit, even though Dogecoin is not going to be on it, but X Money is live behind closed doors, public launch next. That public launch, when that happens, I'm still expecting Dogecoin to run a little, have a little pump there. So looking forward to that. But meanwhile, we are heading into Christmas, not where we want to be. The Santa rally we didn't expect. That's what we have. Are we going to get something a little bit today and this coming week? We'll be checking that. I'll be live again on Friday, so look for that. Leave a comment below. What do you think about the prices of these cryptos, man? It's really tough right now. I get it. Going into Christmas, it's not what we wanted, not the present we wanted, but it is what we have. Give the video a like, and if you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel. I appreciate the support. Happy holidays to everyone. We'll see you next time.